Hi, friends. What are your favorite stories? While Clark is taking a break from writing new stories this week, we would love to know what stories you liked best so far. You can do this by leaving a comment and a review or by sending us an email via our contact page. A link to our contact page can be found in our show notes. Thank you. Hello, friends, and welcome to Sleep Tight Stories. This is the final part of our story about Nia. Nia had to land on Earth to recharge the batteries in her capsule, and she decided to go and explore. She met some crows, a dog, and some cows before running into Georgina, a young girl. Georgina invites her to her house to try some of her mom's baking. But when Georgina's mom sees Nia, things don't go so well. Nia Visits Earth, Part 3. Nia's home planet Alpha, in some ways, was not so different from Earth. It supported a variety of life, including a number of sentient species, like alphans and others. The gravity of the planets was also similar, as is the fact that they orbit a large yellow sun. The colors of the planets are remarkably different, however. Alpha's native plant life is of a single color, just like Earth in its early stages of development. But within this color, there are many shades of which the human eye would not be able to notice, but which the alphans have adapted to see over the millennia. Nia grew up in one of the many large cities that grew out from the surrounding environment. Thousands of years ago, the people of her planet learned to build and grow in harmony with the plant and animal life. They were so successful that there is no pollution, and the cities look almost the same as the environment they grew out of. The alphans have families and a social life too. Nia has the equivalent of a mother and father and sisters and brothers. But in her city, many elders share responsibility in raising the young ones. Though she didn't often think so, Nia was lucky that her mater was a famous scientist and would help her mother and father tutor her in the sciences, and would also guide her towards where she should attend school after her 10 turns of the sun. Though Nia loved her mater, she wished sometimes she had a mater like her friends did. Their maters all had art or literary backgrounds and guided them towards education in the arts, which Nia found much more fun. Nia's computer friend Beebs was one of the many sentient life forms on Alpha. Many, many years ago, Alpha's scientists created robots that would help them perform many tasks that were difficult for alphans to do. They would repair power structures, care for plant and animal life all over the planet, and eventually help care for the alphans themselves. Over many years, they became so intelligent that they developed their own free will and would take on roles like Beebs, working in harmony alongside their alphan counterparts. But at Nia's age, they act more like babysitters on Earth, which is why Nia would often find Beebs annoying and would sometimes listen only when it suited her. One of the roles that robots, as we call them, have on Alpha is to act as a first responder in a medical emergency, which is why upon seeing Georgina's mother faint to the ground, Nia stood there stunned, wondering why no one came to help her within the 1 to 2 minutes it takes on Alpha. She herself had no idea what to do. "Mom, are you okay?" asked Georgina as she rushed over to where her mom was sitting on the floor. "Beebs, what has happened and where are the people to help?" Nia asked quietly. "She fainted. I don't think they have health aid as fast as we have on Alpha," Beebs replied. "What should I do?" Nia asked. "Human physiology may be different. Assessing." "Who are you talking to?" asked Georgina. Just as Nia was about to reply, Georgina's mother's eyes opened and she had a big smile. "Heavens," she said, somewhat embarrassed. "I've always been a bit dramatic, but I don't think I've had such a shock since I found out I failed my math final in high school." "Are you okay, Mom? Should I call Dad?" asked Georgina, quite concerned. "I'm fine. I fell on my bum, which is a bit sore, but otherwise, I'm okay. I'll send your father a message to come on over and check on me after he finishes his errands in Summerside. I'm sure after some tea and cookies, I'll be right as rain." "I'm sorry if I startled you," Nia said quietly. "Oh, my." "Georgina, I think you might want to introduce me to your new friend. That is either the best Halloween costume I have ever seen, or you are an..." "Mom, this is Nia. She comes from away," said Georgina with a big smile, the alarm gone from her mother fainting. "I can see that," Georgina's mother said, looking at Nia with wide eyes. "Hi, Nia. This is kind of embarrassing. Me falling on my bum the first time we meet. Let me guess. When Georgina says you are from away, she means far, far away, not Nova Scotia, Ontario, or someplace like that." "Yes, Georgina's mother. I come from another planet called Alpha," replied Nia matter-of-factly. As Nia starts telling the story of how she came to land on PEI and where she came from and how she loved the landscape of this place. Georgina and her mother had many questions, which Nia did her best to answer, with the help of Beebs, and after about 10 minutes, everyone seemed to be calmed down and satisfied with what was said. Well, that's quite a story, to put it lightly. I think that is deserving of a cup of tea and sweets. "Do you eat cake and cookies?" she asked. "Best to try, so as not to upset the humans further," said Beebs. "I don't think I have eaten such nourishment before, but I would like to try," Nia said, feeling a bit hungry and very curious about all the sweet smells coming from the different shaped items on the counter nearby. "My mother makes the best chocolate cake. You must try that, and with a glass of milk," said Georgina. "What is milk?" Nia asked. "Milk comes from cows. My father takes them into the barn, grabs a bucket, and then milks them." "That doesn't sound good," said Beebs. "But you had better try it to keep the humans calm. I can give you aid when you return to the capsule." "Sure? I would love milk too," said Nia with a bit of hesitancy. "Well, have a seat at the table then, you two," Georgina's mother said as she started to bring over cake, cookies, and a couple glasses of milk. "Wow, the milk looks so pretty," Nia said as the fresh milk was poured into a glass in front of her. "This certainly is going to be a day for the books," Georgina's mother said. "I should be posting this online, but people would just think I was crazy or using one of those silly filters." "Crazier, you mean?" Georgina said with a laugh. Nia started eating the first piece of chocolate cake, and her eyes started bulging out of her head. Her face turned a brighter shade of blue. "Nia, are you okay?" Georgina asked with some alarm. "Oh, I never thought you might have allergies or sensitivities to chocolate or something else," Georgina's mother said. With her mouth still full of cake, Nia mumbled, No, it's just so different, so delicious. We have no flavors like this on Alpha at all. It's so amazing." "Phew, and thank you for the compliment. I can tell all my friends that my baking is otherworldly. Or out of this world," added Georgina with a smile. After drinking her milk, Nia said, "Thank you very much. That really was wonderful." "You said you had something wrong with your vehicle or spaceship, and that's why you landed?" Georgina's mother asked as she took a big sip of her sweet tea. "Yes, it's not very serious. The navigation computer runs on its own power, and it had some unforeseen issues that made it use far more power than could be replaced. So, instead of drifting in space, Beebs, my computer companion, suggested that we land here so that we could recharge it faster." "Thank you," said Beebs. "You are improving." "I don't know if we would be much help. We are off-grid and use wind and solar to power our farm and our car. But our batteries and charging station are fixed in place," said Georgina's mom. "Recharge is at 95%, and Beta has acknowledged that we are late arriving and want an update. Suggest we leave shortly before I am forced to reply," said Beebs. "I appreciate your offer of help, but I think the navigation system has already returned to near optimal levels," replied Nia. "Well, anytime you need a charge, just give us a call," Georgina's mother said with a laugh. "Would you like more cookies or cake or some milk?" asked Georgina. "No, you have been very generous in sharing your food, and I could not eat another bite." "Please excuse me, as I don't know the customary way to say this on Earth, but I am afraid I must go back to my capsule and continue on my journey before my mater becomes worried," said Nia, concerned that she might insult her host. "Oh, sure. You are always welcome to come for a visit, no matter the length of time. But here, Georgina, grab me a bag from the drawer over there, please." "Here, why don't you take some cookies with you on your trip? I always find cookie breaks make the long trips all the more fun," Georgina's mother said with a smile. "Thank you. You are very kind. Much more kind than I could ever have imagined." Georgina and Nia walked out the door, through the backyard and fields, towards Nia's capsule. As they were walking, Georgina said, "It was nice to meet you, Nia, and I am so sorry that my mother fainted. I promise she won't do it the next time you visit." "That's okay," Nia chuckled. "And it was very nice to meet you. This has been a great adventure for me, and I am so happy to make a new friend." "Navigation computer at 100%, interjected Beebs. "Do you think you could come for another visit? This summer I don't have many plans, and in winter I am free on the weekends if you don't mind the cold and the snow. If you come in the summer, we could go to the beach or go riding. Well, the summer is a lot of fun on PEI." "Yes, I would like to try and visit again someday soon." They walked a bit further, and Nia waved goodbye to all the cows and birds on her way. When they finally arrived at Nia's capsule, Georgina looked stunned. "What's wrong?" Nia asked. "Your capsule looks so cool. I've never seen a spaceship up close before. It's so sleek and smooth, and with a shade of green I have never seen before. Spaceships in movies are always white or silver or black. Maybe someday you can come for a ride with me and we can explore the galaxy." "Oh, that would be so cool," Georgina said excitedly. "Beta is calling," said Beebs. "Sorry, I must go." As Nia turned to leave, Georgina suddenly stepped towards her and put her arms around her. "Alert, alert, alert," said Beebs. "She's attacking you." What was that?" asked Nia nervously. "That is what we call a hug. It's one way we say hello and goodbye to friends," said Georgina. So Nia stepped forward awkwardly and gave Georgina another hug and said, "See you again soon. Bye." And without so much as a sound, the capsule lifted off from Prince Edward Island and quickly took off through the clouds faster than the eye could see. And that's the end of this story. Good night. Sleep tight.